Forgiveness is a concept that is as ancient as humanity itself, yet it remains deeply complex and challenging in its practice. We often hear the phrase forgive and forget, but is it really possible to do both? Today, we explore the intricate dance between memory and forgiveness. In psychological terms, forgiveness is the conscious decision to release feelings of resentment or vengeance towards someone who has wronged you, regardless of whether they deserve your forgiveness. Memory, on the other hand, is the faculty by which the mind stores and remembers information. These two can be at odds, as one requires letting go, while the other involves holding on. Interestingly, science suggests that forgiving without forgetting might be more beneficial and realistic than simply letting go of both. Our memories serve a purpose. They help us avoid making the same mistakes, alert us to potential dangers, and guide us in forming our identities. They remind us of past joys and sorrows, shaping our personal history and our understanding of the world. Forgiveness, unlike memory, is a choice. It does not condone the wrong or erase the pain caused, but it does allow for emotional healing. By forgiving, we acknowledge the hurt but refuse to let it govern our lives. This is significant because harboring resentment can lead to chronic stress and emotional turmoil. So, the willing act of forgiveness is less about excusing behavior and more about reclaiming personal peace and well-being. The relationship between memory and forgiveness becomes particularly fascinating when we consider how the brain processes these experiences. The hippocampus, the part of the brain involved in memory formation, stores both positive and negative memories. Meanwhile, forgiveness activates different brain regions associated with empathy and moral decision-making. This suggests that forgiving someone requires an active, conscious effort to override reflexive emotional responses tied to those negative memories. Moreover, studies show that while we may forgive, our emotional experiences remain accessible in the brain's memory bank. This accessibility means that although you may choose to forgive, you might still recall the incident with vivid detail. However, over time and with the adoption of forgiveness, the emotional charge of these memories tends to diminish, making them less distressing over time. Cultural narratives often encourage forgiving and forgetting as an essential practice for harmonious living, yet they rarely emphasize the difficulties involved in truly achieving both. In reality, while a sincere act of forgiveness is within reach, erasing the memory is not. The key to successful reconciliation, therefore, lies in harmonizing these two human processes. It's about forgiving the transgression and learning to live with its memory with acceptance, not erasure. In conclusion, while we may not truly be able to forgive and forget, we can strive to forgive and remember less painfully. Embracing this nuanced perspective allows us to heal, learn, and ultimately move forward. As with many aspects of human experience, it's less about achieving the impossible and more about finding balance in the complexities of our emotional lives.